Hello everybody. Y'all, I started on this and I thought, dadgummit, I need to get something going because we've been kind of slack on the videos this week. I've had a lot of stuff going on and a lot of stuff I hadn't been able to film. But what we got here is a Remington 4620. This belongs to Alyssa's boss man, and he's wanting to do a job this weekend, and well, they saw it wasn't oiling, so she called me and asked if I'd look at it, and I said, yeah. So I stopped everything I was doing to see if we couldn't take care of this for him. So this weekend is leaking oil, which most of y'all know if you talk to me and you say your saw's leaking oil, I say, well, that's normal, because most all of them do, and some people don't like that, but most all of them do leak. I mean, there's some that don't, but very few. But this one here, I just was spinning the oiler, and the oiler does not seem to be moving in and out very much. Now, there we go. We got a little movement there. So I was going to clean it up and have a look at it because, well, you know, if the oiler doesn't move, it ain't going to oil. And this can of brake cleaner is leaking like a sieve. The top fell off it when I opened it, and it don't want to work. But I got something else I want to show you too. Whatever that selection is there, it's actually hitting enough to run the oiler. I want to see if this will pop out of here, or is it pinned in. I can't tell whether that's a pin in the hole or not. It almost looks like it is. I really hate to knock that out of there. But I'd really like to see what is going on in here, but I don't know if I've got a punch that small out here. I don't know if I got anything that small out here. Maybe an old drill bit. I don't think that this punch, I don't think this punch is small enough, but we'll try it. We'll try it and see. Oh, she might do it. We're just going to use the needle nose pliers as a something to tap on, but I'm telling y'all, it does not feel like, that really don't feel like it's a pin that drives out. It really don't. Aha, okay, there it is. It's just got little tabs on there. That's why I didn't want to hit it very hard, because you can break stuff if you don't know how it works. And I did not know how it works, so I didn't want to hit on it very hard. But that, we're going to check this oil pump out and see if we can't see what's going on in here. Whoever built this oil pump did not make it so that it would oil a bunch. That should be wide open. Now there it goes to moving. I wonder if that trash that was in there was stopping the pump from moving, because it was not going backwards and forwards. But it appears to be now. I might stick it back on there and try it. I think right there is where it leaks. Yeah, it's just pouring right out of there. We'll clean that up and put some seal all on. I don't know whether y'all get to see all that or not. But something I do want to show y'all. These clutches. I know some of you've seen them. And I know some of you's worked on them. And these are a pain in the buttocks. And I've knocked 2 of them apart now. And I just knocked this one apart. Because when you take it off, the center wants to come out of it. And these things are a real pain to take apart and put back together. But I'm going to show you something. Something I figured out a little bit ago. See these little brackets? Or little shims, whatever you want to call them. They're not unbelievably large, but they are 120 thousandths thick. Now, I just cut these. I tried these flat ones. The flat ones did not work because they hit the spring and the clutch would kick sideways and fly apart. Now, I'm going to show y'all this, even though it's a real pain for me. Let me see if I can move y'all a little bit more and get it where y'all can get right here on top of it. So maybe y'all can see this a little better. Can y'all see that? Okay. Now for any of y'all that's popped one of these apart, y'all know what I'm about to do and make you cuss. But I'm going to do it anyway. Even though I really don't like doing these. I'm just trying to... Alright. There you go. If you've got that out of center, you know how hard it is to get it back in there. It's not very much fun at all. I'm going to go one better. Now, that's even worse. When you got it like that, it's a real pain to put back together. But if you've got a saw and you can cut some of these little brackets or little bushings, they're only, this is only a 1/2 inch bar. Yeah, it's 1/2 inch bar stock. The little nub I cut is about 225. That one's 170. That one's 220. I just roughly cut these 3 out. Now the one thing that's going to help you with this is you need a flat-sided electrician screwdriver. You can't use one of these that's tapered on the sides, because every time you put it in where I'm going to show you and twist it, the clutch kicks apart. Oh, now if you just line these back up, the spring will not fit in there. But you can get the spring started in it. The best thing to do is take one and put the spring middle ways of that one, because where that spring is put together, it's odd shaped and it makes it a real bear. But if you can get it back in there like that and put the 2 pieces together and take your thumbs and push that spring back down in there, then get your screwdriver and push it back in there as far as you can get it. Now we might have to do this more than once, but I figure for the knowledge, maybe y'all will appreciate it. All right. Once you get your spring pushed back in there, it doesn't set 100% flat. It's kind of cockeyed. Now, there's these little notches right there. If you take this screwdriver, and the reason you have to have a flat wall is you put it in there and twist it, it'll stay like that. But if it's a tapered screwdriver, it'll kick out every time. And once you get that Set that in there against the table as far as you can set it down in there. Close it up. Try to make sure it stays as level as possible. And sometimes this is no fun. But you want to keep pressure down on the table at all times and try to get the screwdriver all the way down to the table also. And put it in there. Try to keep it all the way down and cut her loose. Just tap it back in there. And I know some people are probably thinking, well, you can do it with two, but it don't. Even with two in there, there's still a little room there that won't quite go. Now you could probably force it in there. But look at that. You get all three of them put in there. It comes all the way out to the side. You pick it up, flip it upside down. And she falls right in there. And you try to hold it best you can. And pop each one of them out. And there's your clutch put back together. Now, I'm pretty sure if you watch on a regular basis, some of y'all watched me put one of them back together one day and stab my finger with a screwdriver. And it hurts. And it ain't no fun. So, I was trying to get this one back together and I was plumb irritated with it. But I got it in there and got her put back. So I figured I would share that with y'all. And I do not like this oil pump. I do not. That should be wide open. For those of y'all not sure, I'm watching as you roll this thing. It goes back and forth, and that's what pumps the oil over on this end. And there's your adjuster. And then here's a cam. And I have taken some of these apart. And I don't think there's any good way for me to take it apart and let y'all actually see how I take one apart, because there's a pin right there and you have to tap that pin out, and then this will come out and then the guts will come out. So I'm gonna see if I can tap this pin out. And that pin is just soft as all get out. I ain't gonna swear that it's gonna come out. These things are made so cheap. Maybe I got it some of the way. Maybe I can put some pressure on it and pull it out. It's not cooperating. Oh, maybe. I got her. Now I got the pin punch in there, so we're gonna pull that out and we'll just slide the internal workings out of it, and it's off to one side, so we're going to try to take it out like this if we can get it to come out. I don't know whether it will or not. Some of these things are real. There we go. You got to pull back on the plunger. This thing is off to one side, and it almost makes me feel like it was in there backwards, but I don't know that. So we're going to pull the pump plunger out, and I'm going to take this washer and lay the washer on the table. There's a washer. I don't know whether y'all can see that or not. I keep tightening up the camera, and I get it so tight that it won't stay. There's a spring, and there is a small rubber cup on this one, and that's the first one I've ever seen that was made that way. And if you watch, see how that's cut out? That's what makes it move back and forth. Now, if you're comfortable with it, you can go in here and cut this down a little bit in this small area, and it will increase the throw of this pump. But if you do that, you do it at your own risk, because if you mess it up, it won't pump. So that's one of them things. You have to make a decision whether you can do it or not. If you can, you can. If you can't, then that rascal. Well, would you look at that? The plunger will not fit in this thing. The specs are off. This isn't centered, is it? No, it is too. It's centered. Let's measure it right quick. Alright, the outer edge is 3.28 or 0.328. The gap is 310. Well, that might explain why it doesn't work right there. Well, okay then. That would be the reason it doesn't work right. The eccentric can't rub the piece like it's supposed to pump. And sometimes you'll have that on stuff like this. Let me see if I can get this E-clip off here without sending it across the shop. And there it is. Now I need this gap to be wider. So I might just go ahead and do it right quick. Y'all hold on, I'll be right back. All right. Now, I went and took just a little bit off the outer circumference of this. I took just a little bit off the top of this, and I hit this with a file down here just a little bit to clean it up because it had a couple of burrs on it. But also, this center prong was hitting in here all the time. Like even at max lift, it was hitting the stop even when you had it set to max, so that it could not pump the max of what it was set at. So now I've ground it down a little bit so that it's, when you set it at max, it hits the bottom of this and touches the pin at the same time. So now when you turn it a little more, it doesn't go as far. So now it will pump the maximum amount that the pump was designed to pump. It's almost like whoever built the pump, or I don't know, they may have had some machine issues. This might have been right at the end before the machine was retuned, and it just left that nub a little bit longer than it needed to be. but I think we've got it worked out now. When I put the, I stuck it back together and spun it. I didn't put it together and crank it. I'll show you here in a minute. I put the, just stuck the pieces back in there and spun it, and you can actually see the spindle moving back and forth now. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this back in here. I've already stuck a little bit of oil down in there. Once we get that in there like that, we're going to take this and put capture the thing back in there, and it should, if you set it on max stroke, it should kind of lock itself in there, but it may not. This is where the fun part comes. If you ever want to do one of these yourself, getting this pin back in there can be a real pain. We're going to turn it over to one side. I'm going to push it back up in there. If I can get everything to cooperate. I'm going to put the pin punch in there. And this is where you got things loaded up. You could theoretically shoot this across the room, so you might want to be extra careful with it. You need 3 hands, so you just have to work with the 2 you got. And I ain't even kidding. This can be a real pain. Usually they've got these pins wallered down on one side to make them a little easier to go in, but this one does not appear to be that way. So we're going to try to put a little pressure on it. Aha. See, I got the pin started back in the hole. Now I'm going to hold a little pressure to it. And that's starting to come out the other side. So we're going to take the pin punch. I know y'all can't see this, but I can't hold it and show it all at the same time because there's not enough room for me and you and the camera and everything else in there. But there, we got her back in there. Now, I think that is minimum. And I believe that this is maximum. Okay. Now, see how much the pump moves? Go all the way to the other side. This right here might be maximum. Let me check it out. That's a quicker movement. This might be maximum right here. I don't know though. I never know until I get it on there and put it back together. But I'm not going to bore y'all with the rest of this because I know you want to see it oiling. So I'm going to stop this and I'll fix this and I'll bring you back when I got her running and oiling. All right. I got her all stuck back together and put some oil in it. I had to change the O-ring on the oil cap because it was leaking. and it kind of stripped the oil plug a little bit, but the O-ring wasn't quite big enough. It was going down in there way too far, so I found one that was fatter and stuck it on there. So we're gonna fire this thing up, see if it oils now. Oh yeah, she's pumping the oil out now. Alright y'all, I don't know what I'm gonna make in cutting video with this. I'm just trying to get it done. Still got bukus of things to do. So trying to get something done so I can get y'all video put out, because some of this stuff I've been doing is not really interesting, but I'm trying to get it out there so y'all can see what all kind of stuff that I actually do. So some of it I don't record because it's just too hard. I did get the tire machine put back together. I don't know whether y'all can see it or not. Right there. I got that put back together yesterday. A buddy of mine called me and said he needed to put some tires on. Wanted to know if I had the tire machine fixed. And I said no. That one's covered up with stuff. So I went ahead and put new lines on that one. And whatever else I bought. Rotator valve and all that. Got it all put back together, but it's working. But we've got some stuff coming up. So y'all just keep looking. We got some cool stuff coming up before long. And well, we got a lot of stuff coming up. Well, we got a lot of stuff here, period. But all right, so I got to go sharpen this chain yet and make him another chain and let this thing sit on the table and see if it's going to leak anymore, because I pulled the rubber stopper, the rubber tube that goes into the oil tank. I pulled it out, cleaned it. It was a little loose. I just put a little seal all on it, popped her back in there. So let it sit for a while and cure. Had some other things to do, took care of that. And I got done with that. So hope y'all enjoy it. Y'all have a good day. Like it, subscribe, share if you enjoyed it. Tell your friends about us. We do crazy things sometimes just normal stuff. But we keep it going. And such is the life of somebody who fixes things. All right, y'all have a good day. Y'all be kind. Love each other. Help each other out. Bellhopper out.